Alright guys, deep dive, let's find out all of the information about the new Ultra Beast reveals in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. So yeah, we finally have pages for Assembly and Burst, and then we have this new guy over here, UB Adhesive. So I haven't read any of this yet. Hopefully there's enough information to justify this video, but let's get into it. So 2-pound Pokemon, or 2-foot Pokemon, weighs 4 pounds, has Beast Boost, Poison Pin Pokemon, Poison typing. All of that makes sense, especially from what we saw with the trailer. It's a pretty small looking Pokemon, and with Kartana only being like a foot tall, none of this really surprised me, so that's pretty interesting. That doesn't look like a lot. UB Adhesive displays many emotions, and it's said to be able to understand human speech if it spends enough time together with them. That terrifies me. No, yeah, you know what? This is actually like the most unique Ultra Beast in a way. Like there's something strange about it. When I saw this, I was like, oh, that actually kind of looks like a Pokemon. It almost looks like a fake mon. Like when I was making my thumbnail, I felt like I was making a clickbaity 4chan leak rumor fake thumbnail, because this looks, I wouldn't even say almost looks like a fake mon. This looks like some kind of legendary Pokemon that you'd expect to see out of Pokemon Uranium or something. I don't know if that's a callback, because like, hey, sorry we shut down Pokemon, like all these fan games that you love, but doesn't this look like some kind of fake mon or fan mon or something? However, this is where things do get a little freaky, because this is like the first Ultra Beast that actually has a legit face and actually seems like a Pokemon more than just some kind of beastly creature. I guess Pheromosa is kind of the closest, because yeah, like Pheromosa actually has like eyes and stuff. Celesteela's face and mouth is just freaky. Kartana, Xurkitree, Buzzwole, Nihilego, they don't seem to have, they don't have eyes or anything, and then Guzzlord's just like a dark mouth beast thing of shenanigans. But that's just freaky. I don't want an Ultra Beast coming out, spending some time with me, and then being able to communicate, because it's supposed to be an Ultra Beast. That's why I feel that, like, with all of these new dimensions and all these new wormholes, and however this, like, crazy trailer plays out with finding, new Ultra Dimension things. Yeah, that's early on. Yeah, that's how they kick off the trail. Like, we're just gonna fly into an Ultra Dimension, okay? We're gonna pop into a layer or something. I mean, look at all that. I wonder if the colors actually represent the Ultra Beast, so it doesn't take too long to go from place to place. But yeah, get in on that home turf. That's just wild. So now we also have a new Ultra Beast that does that, and then it mimics human speech, and it becomes more Pokemon and person-like. That's cool. What do we got? Their large heads are filled with venom. That's freaky. They fire this venom from the poisonous needles on top of them. I think we could have, I guess we kind of figured that out from the trailer potentially. Even more Ultra Beasts discovered. Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Players will be able to meet new Ultra Beasts in addition to UB Adhesive. Pokemon Ultra Sun, it will be UB Burst, an Ultra Beast with the peculiar habit of making its own head explode. In Pokemon Ultra Moon, players will be able to meet UB Assembly, an Ultra Beast that has the appearance of a stone wall. So yeah, that's another thing about like UB Assembly and Burst. A lot of people are saying like, oh, it's medieval based, because we've kind of seen like different timelines and different like things that happen with the Ultra Beast. You know, people are like, oh, so we have bugs, we have jellyfish, kind of like showing the evolution of creatures and stuff. We have the feudal period. We have whatever Guzzlord represents, rockets and science with Celesteela, electricity with Xurkitree. So it's kind of going like over these weird time periods and the different creatures that have existed throughout those times, like throughout the history of the Earth or something. Like that's one of the interesting theories going on with the Ultra Beast. And then when you look at Assembly, feels like a castle, feels like a turret, feels like something like that. And then UB Burst is similar to a jester, so more medieval based on UB Burst and Assembly, and then like their appearances and their quirky behavior kind of resembles that. So UB Assembly, Rock Steel, 18 feet tall. Oh yeah, that is a 2-story building, my friends. Weighs 1,800 pounds. If it has any damage capabilities, that Heavy Slam is going to hurt. Beast Boost, Rampart Pokemon. See, it's all in the names, guys. And then we got that. So while UB Assembly may appear to be made up of stones stacked atop one another, apparently each stone is a separate life form. I think we could have figured that out from the eye freakiness. And this UB is made up of an assemblage of these life forms. So it's assembly. It's called Assembly because it's an assemblance of different life forms, and then they make a brick wall. So technically, I guess there's like no limit to the size of Assembly. It could maybe just like be one flat wall. It could just be a face of a wall or something, or it can come together into this massive tower of hundreds and hundreds of feet. I don't even want to know how crazy and freaky and War of the Worlds that can get, but there we go, guys. That's kind of how UB Assembly is built. So getting that little bit of information, like, I don't even know if Game Freak understands what they've done with all this Ultra Beast shenanigans and with all the storytelling they're doing. Like, if they introduce even more Ultra Beasts, if they introduce even more worlds, even more expandability, how does that work? It's like the Ultra Dimension truly is a world that is as fleshed out and filled with quote-unquote life and creatures as the Pokemon world, as the Pokemon universe. Like, that's so weird to me, because how many assemblies or assembly pieces exist, and how do they come together? Are these just like sentient stones that roll around and stuff looking to build together? It's so weird. I thought it was just like one creature that kind of like had all the eyes and stuff, but no, it's individual, which makes it a little bit more strange. When confronting another or when feeling particularly enraged, the eyes of each of these stones will begin to glow red. So yeah, we see that whenever it attacks, you know, we see the inside, all those eyes glow red. We see when it attacks, you know, there's like a shift over there. That's kind of freaky. And then UB Burst, Fireworks Pokemon. Had me fooled, Game Freak. You had me fooled. 5'11". So average human height, 27 pounds. Not average human weight. And then we have Fire Ghost. See, I didn't talk about assembly. Rip assembly, rock steel typing. I said, like, it can be rock. It can be steel. As long as it isn't rock steel, it might have a chance. Now, unless it is the tankiest Pokemon to ever tank a tank to exist as a tank, we're going to have some problems, I feel. Because we can look at a Pokemon like Bastiodon. The stats on Bastiodon, like, imagine an Ultra Bastiodon. I think that's what Assembly is going to be. I'm seeing over 200 defenses, probably 60, 70-ish on the hit points. I did a video kind of breaking down the potential stats and moves and how Assembly could play out, because it's a very fascinating Pokemon. I love tanky Pokemon, and new Pokemon in any Pokemon game, even if it's like a sequel version, means there's going to be a little bit more diversity. There could be a couple of interesting things coming out of it. So I feel that Assembly is going to play very, very similarly to Bastiodon. I imagine very low offensive stats, maybe the lowest speed ever introduced in Pokemon. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a 1, 2, or 3 speed on Assembly, to be honest. And then we have like mid hit points and then absurd defense or something like that. But Bastiodon, it doesn't really do a lot of damage. I guess Metal Burst, since it is a steel type, we could see Assembly getting Metal Burst. It does get Iron Defense. We see it using that in the trailer. Also uses some kind of attack in the trailer as well. So let's go and pull that up when we get to Assembly right here. So yeah, there it is. When it's disturbed or whatever, its eyes turn red, and then it's attacking, and its eyes turn red. So we see that right there. What move is that? Is that Metal? No, Metal Claw. See, I'm not sure. I guess someone will point that out in the comments. So look for one of the top comments that's like, Verlisify, you're an idiot. He's obviously using whatever move that is. Iron Head? Maybe? Either way, that's kind of what we're looking at right here. So yeah, it just feels like it's going to be a more defensive Pokemon. Now, Bastiodon has some interesting things up its sleeve, because it can use moves like the Wide Guard. So I just see, unless, if UB Assembly does not get any form of sustain, like, I could see this potentially getting Recover. I could see this potentially getting Pain Split. If it doesn't get that, the sustain is just going to make it useful. You know, it sets up Stealth Rocks and Metal Burst once, and it does, and pretty much any Pokemon can do that. At least Bastiodon, it can't get one shot. I don't know how tanky UB Assembly would have to be to survive a 4x Earthquake from a Garchomp or other common Earthquake threats, but it seems a little ridiculous. So yeah, unfortunately, Rock Steel is going to make that a little bit tricky to use. It's going to come down to the moveset for Assembly then, more so than the stats, I feel. And then UB Burst. So Fire Ghost. A lot of people were thinking Fire Fairy. I think that was really close. I think I saw a few people saying like Ghost Fairy, but because of Mimikyu, you know, I feel that instead of introducing Ghost Fairy type Pokemon in the 6th generation, they exclusively saved it for a Pokemon like Mimikyu, so I don't think they would just bring in Ultra Beast that would go and overwrite that. Fire Ghost is also typing that hasn't really gotten much exploration. Like, Chandelure is a pretty cool Pokemon, but where can we go with this instead? So now it's like an insta-sweeper Chandelure, so Chandelure damage with Scarf Chandelure speed, or maybe less than that, you know. I'm expecting this Pokemon to have like a 127 on the speed, just because it looks fast. It looks like it's going to be in really screwy speed tier. I guess 117, I think that's also prime number, maybe that. So it could have a really funky speed tier. And then Fire Ghost, that's just good coverage. You go Fire Blast, you go Shadow Ball. It also has an exclusive move, so let's go and read it. UB Burst tricks targets into letting their guard down as it draws near with its funny gait, swaying this way and that, and then it shocks them by blowing up its own head without warning. Before they can recover their senses, it steals their vitality, which is said to use as a source of energy. What? So what you're telling me is that this this move, it steals health? No. It costs... Wait. Okay, Wait, my mind is blown right now. What is going on? It says it steals life, but why is it losing health? Did it take a hit and then it didn't? Also, I think they zoomed in here because they're not showing the real name, because these are just code names. Assembly, adhesive, burst, all these are code names, because kind of like how we had beauty, absorption, all the other ones. So yeah, all the other Ultra Beasts, they had like these weird code names, and then we got their official names. So it looks like they're blurring out the official name right there, but I don't know why he's missing health. Is that after take? No, I don't know. This freaks me out. Oh, I guess it's a recoil move. Never mind. I guess that's just like a straight up recoil move. We see moves like that all the time, Brave Bird and whatnot. I thought, because it says it steals their life force, that this move was actually going to go and drain life while being like a stab ghost type move or something. But actually we see it the other way around. That naturally if you blow up your head, you're going to inflict recoil damage. So that means we have a ghost recoil move on a ghost sweeper. 120 base power, it'll wreck everything. Those are some mad shenanigans. It's definitely a frail Pokemon too, because if it loses that much health from taking down a Metagross, then we are onto some shenanigans. Unless it's like one of those half health recoil moves, even if it's like a third or a quarter, then that means this thing has no hit points whatsoever. It's maybe going to like KO a Pokemon, have a life orb, take a little bit of life orb damage, get the beast boost, use its signature move, and then kill itself. Like I think that's actually an incredible form of balance. So what we do is we have UB burst, and it might be super fast. It might have an incredible amount of damage. It might have one of the highest base power insta-kill combos that we've seen with the signature move on Mind Blow, but because it has so little hit points, it can only use Mind Blown once for a KO, and then twice if it wants to trade 2 for 1. Other than that, it seems like it's going to rely on the Beast Boost to boost its damage to then use normal moves like the Fire Blast, like Shadow Ball, or something like that. If it's a physical attacker, then that also makes things pretty interesting, because then it gets access to the Leech Life, which you can then use on top of Beast Boost to heal back some of the health and maybe find an extra KO inside of it. However, if it doesn't score KO and it gets looked at funny, the thing is going to die. So that's my thought on the on UB Burst, and I think that's kind of it. Like it's so weird because I already did the breakdown. I was like, wait a second. We have new Ultra Beasts, so I'm super excited, guys. I can't wait to do strategy guides. I can't wait to see how these guys work in competitive play, because they actually seem pretty crazy and maybe an interesting level of balance. Like, they might be balanced. They might not be spammed everywhere, and there might be a way of actually dealing with these guys while also making them fairly usable. Like, I'm hoping they don't completely shatter the game. Like, when you think about it, the Ultra Beasts are pretty balanced. Like, Kartana, it's not in every single battle, but it's a very powerful Pokemon that we see pretty often, but it's not always used, and it can be taken down in most cases. So we see that with like a lot of the Ultra Beasts, which is a pretty nice thing to see. It's like when you see them, they're scary, but at some point you'll be able to exploit a weakness that they have. So they have like layering weaknesses, very high risk, very high reward. And because I was like, yo, I want to do a video, I want to know what these guys could have right now. But now that we actually have the video, now that we actually have the stats, now that we actually see what's going on, there's actually further elaboration that could be made. I might put that out in a video as well, because now UB Assembly, Rock Steel. All my hype is gone for this Pokemon. I honestly don't know what to think, but UB Burst, because it has a signature damage dealing move that inflicts recoil while also doing all kinds of weird things and then hinting as a way of stealing health and stealing life. Like, that'd be a very interesting mechanic. You nuke the opponent, you gain +1 offenses, and then with that +1, you use your leeching move to gain that health back to then nuke the opponent if you find a way of surviving or something like that. So UB Burst, it's freaky. I don't trust it. It's strange. Like many of the other Ultra Beasts, you're not Pokemon to me. You're too weird. Buzzwole, you're freaking weird. Celesteela, you give me nightmares. Kartana, Guzzlord, Xurkitree, what are you not? I can't justify any of your existences. And UB Burst is now the #1. You know, I thought all the other ones were weird. No, UB Burst, you're the freakiest. And then they also just have to go and give adhesive real Pokemon traits or something like that. I don't know. So if you guys enjoy the video, hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.